With the next exercise, we're going to do a Turkish get-up. Our style of Turkish get-up is very similar to Steve Maxwell's style. As a matter of fact, everything I'm doing today is the style that I've learned from Steve Maxwell, who's one of my mentors. As I press the bell overhead, I'm going to step back with my opposite foot and lunge. We practice this without the bell by having the clients do a lot of lunges, and then we put the bell in their hand, have them do lunges. From here, we're going to knee pivot, find the ground with the hand. Now, Mark, listen to watch the range of motion of my shoulders going through. From there, I'm going to slide my foot through, hip up, sit down. From there, I'm going to go from my elbow to my shoulder and to my back. And once again, with the clients, we'll have them do a lot of these without the bell, and then with the bell, hip up in the air.
When I first learned the Turkish get-up and actually read about the Turkish get-up, it went something like this. There are two rules: keep the arm locked and always focus on the kettlebell and stand up. That was all there was to it. I'm a little bit more of a technician than that, so that didn't sit very well with me, and I had to have some rules along the way. So I now have studied the Turkish get-up, and the style of Turkish get-up that I use today for myself and to teach my students and clients is one that I've learned from Steve Maxwell. The thing that we do, first of all, just like with all our other movements, we break the Turkish get-up down by using no weight. It's a very, very intimidating movement. When you first see it done, there's a lot of components to it, and it looks more difficult than it really is. The first thing we're going to do is just work on lunging with our hand overhead. So as you raise your hand overhead, you're going to now step back with the opposite leg, and we need to be able to demonstrate balance and strength with the hand overhead before we add any weight to this exercise. So we will have a client or student perform many lunges to demonstrate that they have the strength once again and balance to perform this movement. The next thing we'll do is we'll add the next step. We'll lunge down and knee pivot. So we're just knee pivoting, and we're practicing that knee pivot. Now we're going to feel for the ground. Once we feel for the ground, now we can stand up and knee pivot and stand back up with the hand above the head. At that point, we'll lunge down, we'll knee pivot, we'll put the hand down, and now we're going to spend a little bit of time on the ground. So we're going to push the hip through, or the foot through with the hip up, and come back to the knee. Foot through, back to the knee. For people who can't lift their hip up, it's perfectly permissible at first to sit. From here, we're going to move the elbow to the ground, now the shoulder, now the back, and now we're going to roll back up with the elbow here. You notice how this knee's up, this elbow's up? We're going to push with this leg as we roll. Okay, shoulder, elbow, hand, elbow, shoulder, back, and we'll work through this progression several times until the student is very comfortable with this movement pattern. Now from here, hip up once again, bring the knee back to the hand, come upright, knee pivot, and now position your foot so that you can shift your weight to the front foot and stand up. Once they become proficient with no weight, now we can add weight to the exercise. Okay? So, the Turkish get up with weight, want to clean and press the bell overhead. And once again, those two rules we talked about earlier, we still use those. We keep the arm locked out grip the bell tightly so that we can promote shoulder stability. We're going to focus on the bell. So we're going to lunge back, knee pivot, find the ground with your hand. Now, sit your foot through and sit down. Find the ground with your elbow, your shoulder, and your back. If you wish to floor press, you may. And now roll back up. Now, hip high. Bring the knee to the hand. Bring the body upright. Knee pivot. Position your foot so you can shift your weight to your front foot. Drive the heel down and stand up. From here, the reason we perform a reverse Turkish get-up is so that we can make the switch up top. Now we're going to perform the Turkish get-up from another angle. I'm going to press the bell overhead. I'm going to lunge back with the opposite leg while I keep the arm locked and keep focus on the bell. Knee pivot, find the ground with your hand. Sit through with the hips high and sit down. Find the ground with your elbow, your shoulder, and your back. Floor press if you like. Push with the opposite leg to roll to the shoulder, elbow, hand. Lift the hips up, lift the leg up, and bring the knee back to the hand. Bring the body upright, knee pivot, position your foot so that you can shift the weight to the front leg, drive the heel down, and stand up. Turkish get-up.